Nora sat quietly at the long dinner table in San Francisco, pretending once again that cruel jokes did not hurt. She wore a simple red dress she bought after 3 exhausting night shifts, hoping she could blend into the background. Across from her, Claire laughed loudly with a group of friends she had invited just to impress. Nora whispered, "Just get through tonight," trying to steady her breath. But when Claire stood tapping her glass, Nora felt her stomach tighten. "Cheers to our real family," Claire announced. Then she looked straight at Nora. "Except the girl in the red dress. She's just adopted." Laughter burst around Nora like fireworks. Relatives, co-workers, even strangers nearby leaned in to watch Claire's performance. Nora lifted her fork, forcing her jaw to move, pretending the joke didn't slice through her. "Doesn't matter," she muttered under her breath, even though it did. Claire smirked. "Relax, Nora. It's just a joke." Nora kept her eyes on her plate. "Some jokes aren't funny," she whispered. But no one heard. Then the restaurant manager approached holding a leather folder. "Excuse me," he said politely. "I need to confirm who will be settling the $5,000 bill tonight." The entire table fell silent. Claire stiffened, her smile fading. Nora watched the shift across everyone's faces. Her mother nudged her under the table, whispering, "Help us smooth this out. Say something nice." Nora inhaled slowly, then sat up straighter. For the first time she didn't shrink. She turned to the manager and said calmly, "She will pay. Claire and her real family can handle it." A spoon dropped somewhere behind them. Claire's eyes widened. "Nora, stop being weird," she snapped. But Nora didn't look away. "You toasted to real family," she replied. "So let the real family pay for their celebration tonight." The manager nodded firmly and placed the bill in front of Claire. "We cannot allow someone to be mocked and then stuck with the cost," he said. Claire's friends exchanged uneasy glances. Nora's father whispered sharply, "You're making a scene." Nora shook her head. "I'm done being the scene you all laugh at." Claire rolled her eyes. "Oh please, you're so dramatic. You should be grateful we even," Nora interrupted softly but clearly. "Grateful for what?" "Being the punchline." Her words hit harder than she expected. Even Claire's closest friend murmured, "Claire, that toast was harsh." Dessert arrived, but no one touched it. Claire kept flipping the folder open and shut like the numbers might change. "You made me look horrible," she hissed across the table. Nora met her eyes. "You did that yourself," she said. Their father sighed heavily. "Claire, what you said wasn't right. This isn't about a joke." Claire threw up her hands. "Great. Now you're all on her side." Nora's voice stayed steady. "This wasn't new. It's just the first time you couldn't hide it." The table fell into a stunned silence, and for the first time, Nora felt the room shift toward truth. When the family finally walked out of the restaurant, the silence between them felt heavier than the bay fog outside. In the car, Claire leaned forward between her parents' seats, her voice sharp. "Dad, I can't believe you let Nora humiliate me like that." Her father kept his eyes on the road. "You humiliated yourself when you made that toast," he said calmly. Claire gasped. "It was a joke." Nora looked at her reflection in the window and replied softly, "If it was harmless, you wouldn't be angry now." Claire snapped back, "You always twist everything." Nora whispered, "No. I finally corrected it." Her mother turned around, worry in her eyes. "Nora, you could have talked to us at home," she said. Calling Claire out in public embarrassed all of us. Nora felt her chest tighten. "That's the problem," she answered. "My embarrassment never mattered unless other people could see it." The car fell quiet again except for the hum of traffic. Her father spoke slowly. "When we adopted you, we promised equal love. But maybe we failed to protect you from comments we shouldn't have allowed." Claire scoffed, crossing her arms. "So now she's the victim and I'm the villain?" Nora whispered, "No. You just need to stop hurting me." When they reached the driveway, Claire slammed her door and stormed inside. Her parents followed silently, but Nora remained in the back seat, staring at the house. Memories flickered. Her first school photo, her first birthday with them, all covered by the louder memories of teasing and jokes she wasn't allowed to protest. Her phone buzzed. A text from Owen. "Still alive? Need a recap later?" Nora typed back, "Yes. Tomorrow." The porch light glowed softly as she stepped out. For the first time she wondered if staying in this house was a choice, or a trap she had never questioned. The next morning the house felt unusually tense. Claire avoided Nora completely, brushing past her in the hallway as if she were invisible. Nora didn't chase it. Instead she met Owen at a coffee shop, telling him everything. The toast, the bill, the silence afterward. Owen listened carefully. "Nora," he said, tapping a napkin with his pen, "this isn't just family teasing. This is a pattern. And patterns don't change unless someone breaks them." Nora nodded slowly. "I don't want to explode again," she admitted. "Then don't," he replied. "Set boundaries. Get financial independence. Plan your exit. Even if you stay, know you can leave." That evening Nora messaged Claire. "Meet me at the park tomorrow. No audience. Just us." Claire responded hours later. "Fine. But I'm not apologizing." The next day, under a pale gray sky, Claire arrived with sunglasses and attitude. "Say what you want," she said. Nora exhaled. "I'm done letting you use my adoption as a joke." Claire scoffed. "You'd really leave over one dinner?" Nora shook her head. "Over a lifetime of dinners. A lifetime of comments." Claire hesitated, her bravado slipping. "I don't know how to stop," she admitted quietly. Nora replied, "Then start here. No more real family jokes. No more charity case jokes. That's the bare minimum." In the days after their park conversation, the house felt strangely quiet. Not peaceful, just muted, like everyone was holding their breath. Nora began packing small items from her room. Notebooks, framed photos, little souvenirs from jobs she worked. Each object going into a box made her feel lighter. Claire watched her once, leaning on the doorframe. "So you're really moving?" she asked. Nora kept packing. "I'm preparing," she said. "There's a difference." Claire folded her arms. "You think you're too good for us now?" Nora paused, looked up and replied gently, "No. I just think I deserve respect." The tension didn't disappear. It simply shifted shapes. Instead of harsh jokes, Claire muttered complaints under her breath. "She'll come crawling back when real life hits," Nora overheard her say in the kitchen. Nora walked in, grabbed a bottle of water and said calmly, "Real life hit me years ago. It hit when you laughed about returning me." Claire spun around. "You're unbelievable," she snapped. Their mother stepped in, hands trembling slightly. "Girls, please," she said. "Your father wants us all to sit down Saturday. A family meeting." Nora nodded slowly. "Fine. But I'm done being told to be less sensitive." The idea of a family meeting made Nora uneasy. It sounded like a polite way to silence her again. But she stayed open to it. When Saturday came, she woke early, staring at the half-filled boxes along her wall. "This might be the last time I try," she whispered to herself. In the living room, her parents arranged mugs of tea like offerings for peace. Claire sat on the couch, arms crossed, avoiding Nora's eyes. Their father stood near the window, looking more serious than usual. Nora took a seat opposite Claire, refusing to shrink into a corner this time. Her father cleared his throat. "We're here to talk honestly," he said. "No yelling. No dismissing." Nora took a breath. "This isn't about one dinner," she began. "It's about a pattern. For years, comments about my adoption were treated like harmless jokes. But they weren't harmless to me. I felt like my place here depended on me staying grateful and quiet." Claire shifted uncomfortably. "You're exaggerating," she muttered. Nora shook her head. "I'm not. When you told people I wasn't the real child, you taught them to laugh at me. When Mom and Dad didn't correct it, they taught me to accept it." Her father leaned forward. "Nora, you're right," he said quietly. "We let things slide that we shouldn't have. We thought you understood you were loved. But love without protection becomes neglect." Claire stared at him, shocked. "So now I'm the monster?" she asked. Nora answered softly, "You're not a monster. You're someone who learned to protect yourself by stepping on me." Claire blinked as if the words stung. Their mother added, "We want to fix this. But we need honesty from all sides." Nora nodded. "Then here's my truth. I can't live in a house where my worth is a debate." Claire suddenly spoke, her voice tighter than before. "Do you know what it felt like when they adopted you?" she said. "Everyone called them heroes. They kept saying how lucky you were, how blessed they were. I felt like I had to be perfect just to be seen. You became the symbol of their goodness. And I became invisible unless I performed. Nora's eyes softened. Claire, you could have talked to me. Claire shook her head. I didn't know how. So I made jokes. They made me feel in control. Nora whispered, but they made me feel small. Their mother pressed a hand to her mouth, eyes glistening. Claire, did you really say those things about returning her? Claire wiped her cheek angrily. I was young. And stupid. And everyone laughed. It felt normal. Nora nodded slowly. That's exactly the problem. It became normal. Silence filled the room as the truth settled between them. Their father sighed. We all have work to do, he said. But Nora, what do you need from us now? Nora looked at him steady and clear. Respect. Boundaries. And the freedom to decide if I still belong under this roof. Her mother's voice cracked. You're thinking of leaving? Nora nodded. I've been looking at apartments. I haven't signed anything, but I need to create a life where my worth isn't fragile. Claire's face dropped. So you're abandoning us, she said. Nora shook her head gently. No. I'm choosing myself. That's different. Her father rubbed his forehead. If space helps you heal, we won't stop you, he said. But please don't think leaving means we don't love you. Nora sighed. Love isn't the issue. Safety is. Emotional safety. Claire looked down, unable to argue. After the meeting ended, Nora went to her room, closing the door behind her. She sat on the floor beside her half-packed boxes and let herself breathe. For the first time she felt like she had spoken without being silenced. Her phone buzzed. Owen again. How'd the meeting go? Nora typed back. Messy. Honest. Necessary. Owen replied, proud of you. Remember, your healing comes first. Nora leaned her head against the wall. The house felt different now, like the foundation had cracks she could finally see. She whispered, I'm not trapped anymore. And for once she believed it. The next morning, sunlight filtered into her room as Nora continued packing small items into labeled boxes. Claire appeared at her doorway, hesitant. Are you really moving? She asked quietly. Nora didn't stop packing. Yes. Maybe not today. Maybe not next week. But soon. Claire stepped inside, arms folded. I don't want you to go, she admitted. Nora met her eyes. Then treat me like someone you want to stay. Claire swallowed hard. I'll try, she said. Nora nodded. Trying is a start. But changing is the goal. Claire nodded slowly, then turned and left, leaving the door open behind her. The house remained quiet over the next few days, but it was a different kind of silence. One filled with awareness rather than denial. Nora felt lighter as she organized her belongings into separate piles. What she would take, what she would leave, and what she no longer wanted to carry emotionally or physically. One evening her father knocked softly on her door. Nora, he said, stepping inside, I want you to know something. You were never less to us. But you were unprotected. And that was our failure. Nora looked at him, surprised. I appreciate you saying that, she whispered. He sat down on the edge of her bed. I want to rebuild trust, he said. Not by words alone but actions. If giving you space is part of that, I'll accept it. Nora nodded. Space will help, she said. It doesn't mean I love you less. It just means I need a room where jokes don't sneak into the walls. Her father sighed. I should have spoken up sooner. I should have stopped Claire when the comments first started. Nora placed her notebook into a box. It's never too late to learn, she said gently. But I can't stay unchanged. Later that night, Nora found Claire sitting at the kitchen table, staring at a mug of untouched tea. The steam had faded. Claire looked up slowly. Do you hate me? She asked. Nora shook her head. No. But I'm hurt. Deeply. Claire swallowed. I don't know who I am without those jokes. It's like, they became my personality. Nora sat opposite her. Then build a new one. One that doesn't rely on hurting me. Claire tapped her nails on the mug. What if I fail? Nora smiled softly. Then try again. Growing up isn't supposed to be clean. But it has to be honest. Claire exhaled shakily. What if you move out and never come back? She asked. Nora paused, choosing her words carefully. If I leave, it won't be to erase you, she said. It will be to heal myself. But the door to our relationship depends on how we treat each other, not on where I sleep. Claire's shoulders lowered. I don't want to lose you. Nora reached across the table, placing her hand gently near Claire's. Then change with me. Not for me, beside me. Claire nodded slowly. It was the first time her eyes held something real, not performance. The following day, Nora stepped outside for fresh air and dialed Owen. How's the house? He asked. Different, Nora replied. Not fixed. But transparent. Owen chuckled. Transparency is a good start. So is packing. Nora looked at the small moving boxes near the door. It feels strange, she admitted. Like I'm stepping into a life I should have had years ago. Owen's voice softened. You're not running away. You're running toward yourself. Nora felt a lump in her throat. I needed someone to remind me of that. Owen replied, always. Now tell me, what's your next step? Nora walked to a bench outside and sat down, watching people rush by. Next step, she repeated. Finding a place that feels like mine. Somewhere I don't have to brace myself before walking into the kitchen. Owen laughed softly. You deserve that. Nora nodded. I do. And for once I believe it. A breeze brushed her hair. She closed her eyes. Owen, do you think my family will ever fully change? She asked. He paused before answering. People can change, he said. But only if they want to. Your job isn't to save them. It's to save yourself. That evening, Nora returned home to find her mother in the living room, sorting old photo albums. I was hoping you'd come sit with me, her mother said quietly. Nora hesitated, then joined her. Her mother opened an album filled with pictures of Nora as a child. Smiling, playing, celebrating birthdays. These moments were real, her mother whispered. We loved you. We just let too many ugly things happen around you. Nora traced a picture of her younger self. Love isn't enough without protection, she said softly. Her mother nodded, tears slipping down her cheeks. I'm learning that now. Her mother wiped her eyes. I want to ask you something, she said. If you leave, will you still visit us? Nora thought about it, not wanting to answer out of guilt. I'll visit, she said slowly, if our home becomes a place where I don't feel small. If you and Dad speak up when things aren't right. If Claire stops treating me like a joke. Her mother nodded, accepting the terms without protest. We'll try, she whispered. That's all I can promise. Nora leaned back. Trying is the beginning. But I need consistency. Not apologies after the damage is done. Later that night, Nora stood in her room looking at the boxes again. She picked up a small ceramic bird figurine. One she made in art class when she was 10. Her teacher had praised it, but when she brought it home, Claire joked, looks like something a charity case would make. Nora had laughed weakly back then. Now she held the figurine tightly. Not anymore, she whispered. She wrapped it in soft cloth and placed it in a box marked keep. These were the pieces of her that deserved safety. Pieces she refused to let Claire define anymore. As Nora taped the box shut, Claire leaned against the doorway quietly. What's in that one? She asked. Nora didn't look up. Parts of me, she said simply. Claire stepped closer. I'm trying, Nora. I don't know how fast I can change, but I'm trying. Nora exhaled softly. Trying is a start, she replied. But I won't stay here waiting for you to grow. I have to grow too. Claire nodded, her voice small. Will you tell me when you find a place? Nora finally met her eyes. Yes, she said. Because you're still my sister. But I need distance to become myself. The next morning, Nora toured her first apartment. It was small, with creaky floors and sunlight that pooled across the living room like warm honey. The landlord handed her the keys to look around alone. She walked from room to room, imagining quiet mornings without whispers, without waiting for a joke to sting. She called Owen on video. What do you think? She asked, turning the camera. Owen grinned. It looks like freedom. Nora smiled softly. It feels like it. She stood by the window overlooking the street. Do you think it's too soon? She asked. Owen answered, it's right on time. That evening, Nora returned home feeling lighter. Claire was pacing the living room when she walked in. Where were you? Claire demanded, then softened. Sorry. I've been nervous. Nora set her bag down. I went to look at an apartment. Claire swallowed. And? Nora met her eyes calmly. I liked it. Claire sat down heavily. So it's real now. You're actually leaving. Nora nodded. Yes. I have to. Claire ran a hand through her hair. I know I messed things up. I know I made you feel unwanted. But I don't want you to disappear from my life. Nora sat beside her. Leaving doesn't mean disappearing, she said. It means creating space for healthier versions of us. Claire looked down at her hands. I don't know if I deserve another version of us. Nora sighed. Deserving isn't the question. Choosing is. Claire's voice cracked. Then I choose you. I choose to do better. Nora nodded slowly. Then prove it not with words but with how you treat me when I'm gone. Claire wiped her eyes quickly, embarrassed. I'll try. Nora gave a gentle smile. That's the beginning. Growing will be the rest. The next day Nora gathered her boxes near the front door. Her parents walked in quietly. Her mother's eyes watered instantly. I can't believe this is happening, she whispered. Nora held her hands gently. I'm not abandoning you, she said. I'm choosing peace. Her father nodded slowly. We understand, he said. We don't like losing the daily version of you. But we want the healed version of you more. Nora felt tears prick her eyes. Thank you, she whispered. Claire hovered near the stairs, watching silently, guilt and love tangled across her face. As Nora lifted a box, Claire finally spoke. Can I help? She asked quietly. Nora hesitated, then nodded. Yes. Claire picked up a lighter box and followed her outside. Do you remember when we were kids? Claire said softly. And you asked if I was glad you were adopted into the family? I told you yes, but I joked and said, don't make it a big thing. Nora nodded. I remember. Claire swallowed hard. I should have said something real. Something kind. Nora looked at her gently. You can start saying kind things now. Claire whispered, you matter to me. More than I ever showed. They loaded the final box into Nora's small car. Her mother hugged her tightly, whispering, please come home for dinner sometimes. Her father rested a hand on her shoulder. We'll protect you better from now on, he promised. Nora nodded but didn't promise anything she couldn't guarantee. As she opened the driver's door, Claire stepped forward. Nora, she said, voice trembling, I know I can't erase what I did. But can we rebuild? Nora looked at her sister. The girl who had hurt her, envied her, misunderstood her but was trying now. Yes, Nora said. But slowly. And honestly. As Nora drove toward her new apartment, the city lights shimmered against the windshield. She felt her chest lift, not with fear but with relief. For the first time her story wasn't shaped by survival. It was shaped by choice. She parked outside the small building, carried her first box inside and placed it gently on the floor. The room felt empty but full of possibility. She whispered, this is the beginning. Her phone buzzed. Owen. Need help unpacking? Nora smiled. Yes, she typed back. Help me build this new chapter. That evening, as she unpacked with Owen, Nora found the ceramic bird she had wrapped carefully. Owen held it delicately. This is beautiful, he said. It's a piece of your childhood. Nora nodded. A piece I'm keeping. Owen set it on a shelf. Then let it be the first thing you see every day, a reminder you weren't the problem. The environment was. Nora exhaled deeply as if letting years of tension leave her body. I'm starting to understand that, she said. Owen smiled softly. Good. Healing begins when you stop carrying what wasn't yours. Later, when the apartment was quiet and Owen had left, Nora sat alone on her new couch. She thought about everything. The jokes, the pain, the silence, the confrontation, the meeting, the move. She realized something powerful. Revenge hadn't been the public bill, the confrontation, or even her leaving. Revenge was healing. Revenge was choosing herself over the role she was assigned. Revenge was building a life where she belonged without permission. She whispered to herself, my story starts now. In the weeks that followed, Nora's relationship with her family slowly softened. Claire apologized more sincerely, learning to speak without cruelty. Her parents checked in not out of guilt but out of genuine care. Nora visited sometimes, by choice not obligation. And every day she grew stronger in her new space. She learned that family isn't defined by blood, adoption, or shared walls. Family is defined by respect, honesty, and the courage to grow. Nora didn't seek revenge to destroy her family, she sought it to rebuild herself. And in doing so she became the one thing she had never been in her old home. whole.